Hello, good afternoon. You've tuned into Your Stocks, coming live from the CNBC-TV18 Motilal Oswal studios. I'm Vinny Motiwala. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, a slight bit of a recovery is what we've seen coming in the market since the last time we spoke at 1 o'clock. So yes, now 24,600 is what the Nifty is managing to hold on to. Sensex, you can see, is still in the red. So it's flip-flopping between the red and the green. Let's keep an eye out on the Sensex as well. Broader end of the market managing to perform much better than what we're seeing in terms of the Nifty 50 and the Sensex. So versus the benchmark indices, broader market is where we've seen that bit of a better performance. Coming in, all the Nifty mid-cap, small-cap stocks are doing quite well. Advance decline ratio also clearly, if you look at that, is in the favor of advances even as of now versus decline. So that is something that we're keeping an eye out on. A whole host of stocks that are buzzing in on the back of their numbers as well. HAL, a sharp recovery after we saw the numbers come in. A year-on-year basis decline, but then a recovery that came in the stocks because beating the estimates of the street. So keep an eye out on that. But this is a show where we solve all your stock-related queries. And for that, today we have our experts joining in with us. Astha Jain, Research Analyst at Securities, as well as Somil Mehta, Head of Alternate Research, Capital Market Strategy, Mirae Asset Sharekhan, joining in with us for helping you all solve all those doubts. Astha as well as Somil, very good afternoon and thank you so much for joining in with us. Somil, I just want to take a quick check in terms of the market as well. What are we watching out for in terms of a level? Obviously, last week, given the tensions that were going around, we'd seen that fall coming in. Then we saw a sharp recovery a couple of days back. Then yesterday, a bit of a correction. And again, today, a bit of an up move and a slight bit of a correction. So what are we watching out for in the swings that we've seen in the market right now?
The short-term and the medium-term outlook remains positive. That's the first thing I wanted to mention. Whatever the correction we have seen in the last couple of days has been a little worrisome, but at this point of time, I think the previous resistance, which was around 24,600 and 24,500, that will remain a very crucial support now from here on. If we close below 24,500, I think that will be the first sign that we may decline further. However, at this point of time, buy on declines would be the strategy, and I will expect a target of 25,000 and 25,200. That will be my short-term targets. In the Bank Nifty, same. I will be expecting markets to go above the previous swing high, and the buy on decline should be the strategy. The support zone for Bank Nifty is 54,400, and the first target would be 56,000, and the second target would be 56,800.
Okay, keep an eye on those levels over there for the Nifty Bank Nifty as well. Thanks so much for that, Somil. But on that note, let's get started with the queries. And the first query for today, we have this coming in from Vansh Kapoor, who's writing to us from New Delhi. He asks if he can buy some shares of Tata Motors at the current levels. Astha, your view coming in for Tata Motors. Yesterday, we did have the numbers that came in. It was above estimates, but that cautious outlook is something I think that is fearing the street. So what are you watching out for now, and is it a good time to look at Tata Motors?
Hi, good afternoon to everyone out there. Talking about Tata Motors, I think one can wait for some dips to arrive in and then make entry into the counter. Now, talking about the JLR business is showing a very strong momentum, especially if I talk about their balance sheet position. So balance sheet position is in a very strong and a very good shape right now. But the kind of macro environment we are working into, I think that can lead to some sort of a downside in these stock prices, and hence we are recommending it buy, but not at the current level. Maybe buying it around the level of 680 to 670 odd zone is a better levels to take entry in. So this is what we are recommending. Buying on dip strategy can be applied. However, on the positive side, our targets which we are keeping for this counter is around 750.
Okay. You're keeping an eye on 750 and buy on dips is your strategy. Somil, on the charts and technicals furthermore, what's your view coming in for Tata Motors? We've discussed this time and again. And given that you've not seen such an outperformance, actually it's an underperformance when you look at it from Tata Motors. So what should you be watching out for in terms of a level on the technical front? And do you think there is room for a run-up now?
After a very long time, Tata Motors have started sustaining about 20 and 40 daily moving average. Since I think October, November 2024, Tata Motors have not been able to, been struggling to go about 20 and 40 daily moving average. This is the first time after 6 months that the stock is sustaining about 20 and 40 daily moving average, which is a very good sign. On the weekly charts, on the higher time frame, higher tops, higher bottom formation is already started. So I think a very good risk reward ratio is there, and my view would be positive in the short term. In the medium term, both bar and declines would be the strategy, and a very strict stop loss at 633, and the targets would be at least 820 levels in the short term for next probably 1 or 2 months.
Okay, keep an eye out on those levels over there for Tata Motors. Let's move on and talk about IndusInd Bank. Now, IndusInd Bank, we have a lot of news flow that's come in the recent times here. Ravi Kumar was writing to us from Bangalore. He's holding 250 shares of IndusInd Bank. This is at a price of 830 rupees per share, so making a loss on this one. He's asking if he needs to be worried about his investments. Given the recent scenario that we've seen coming in. Astha, your view for IndusInd Bank. At one point of time, I remember everyone used to, like IndusInd Bank, talk a lot more about IndusInd Bank. But now they've made those changes in the management as well, right? Which were in terms of concern. So what is your outlook on the fundamental front?
So on the fundamental front, we are very much, looking after the asset quality, because what we have seen that their GNPA ratio has inched up to around 2.25%, which was 1.3 or 1.5%. So I think that is a major issue, and that is mainly due to the MFI stress which this bank is witnessing in their books. So asset quality is definitely an issue. Along with that, we have seen the kind of management changes which is happening. So I mean, all these points are indicating towards more downside from here. Maybe today we have seen some sort of a recovery, but we are not very much positive on the near-term outlook. But here, my stances hold. Maybe some downside can be seen, but I think the cost price of 800 rupees definitely will come after 3 months or 4 months. So it will take some time, but definitely we can see the cost price in the medium to long term. So hold is a strategy from our view, from our side, keeping in view that some downswing in the stock price.
Okay, hold is a view. Maybe keep an eye out. There may be good ups and downs, but long-term view, yes, still stands positive there. But Somil, on the technicals, is your view similar? Or should the viewer just get out of the stock, look at another private bank? What is your suggestion?
Definitely look for some other private bank. Axis Bank looks great. ICICI Bank looks great. But if you're talking about IndusInd Bank specifically, medium-term outlook negative. In the short term, maybe a spike is possible till 20 simple moving average, which is around 805, 806. But that is a very, very strong hurdle for the stock. In the very short term, or in fact in the short term, in the medium term outlook, this stock behaves very sharply. It's very high beta. So short term and medium term targets are achieved very quickly. So in the short term, my view is negative, and the previous swing lows could be retested, which is around 600, 610 levels. So those would be the targets in the short term, in the medium term outlook.
Mm-hmm. Okay, keep an eye out on IndusInd Bank, and Somil said that if you can, then look at some other banks as well. Axis Bank is also something that he mentioned on the private bank side. Let's move on to the next query then for today. We have Suja, who's writing to us from New Delhi, holding 5,000 shares of PFC. This is at a price of 110 rupees per share. So currently 403, so they're making a good amount of profit. Wants to know the future outlook of the stock for PFC. Astha, your view coming in for PFC. Today we did have REC, that gave some bit of a cut in terms of the AUM guidance, which has given bit of a fear for REC. But PFC is still left to give its numbers. What are we watching out for? And obviously, these are stocks that give dividend as well. So, the outlook for the stock, does it merit continuing to hold it given the profits they're making?
Yes, I think it is very well placed right now fundamentally also, because what we are seeing is that their asset quality is showing the sharp improvement, especially in the terms of GNP and NNP ratio, and this Company is also set to announce its number on 21st of this month. So I think it's better to hold the counter till at least till 21st of the month, because if the number comes in accordance with our expectation, which we believe it on the stronger side, then definitely the prices can move more upwards from here. So there are chances to exit at much higher level rather than at the current level. So it's a matter of only few days. Just wait till 21st and continue holding this counter. This is what we are recommending. For us, the price target which we are giving to this counter at the initial level is 430 to 435.
Okay. And Somil, your view coming in for PFC, what should the viewer do? Is it time maybe to book out some bit of a profit according to you?
Definitely. This stock has been struggling to go about 20 and 40 daily moving average, which is very important in the medium term outlook. If the stock goes above 444, which is way high from here, if it closes above 444, 45, that will be the level to go in and buy this stock for a very good medium term outlook. But at this point of time, medium term, short term, both view negative. And I'll be expecting the previous swing lows to be retested around 380 levels.
Okay, surely keeping an eye out on PFC over there. But let's just mark Graphite India. They came out with their numbers. Revenue was down 7.5% on a year-on-year basis. We are seeing what to watch out for in terms of profit and EBITDA as well. We had the EBITDA that came in at 39 crores was an EBITDA loss of 10 crores last year. So yes, in terms of margins also, we've seen an improvement there as well. So that is something to watch out for, a spike up in the stock price. Today, you have more earnings coming in on the screen as well, Ajmera Realty. But yes, keep an eye out on earning specific moves in the stocks as well. But on that note, we're going to slip into a very short break. And while we slip into the break, here's some good news coming in for our viewers. India's business news leader is now a click away. Introducing CNBC TV18's all-new app. Get instant access to breaking news, in-depth articles, financial world updates at your fingertips. Download the CNBC TV18 app now from the Apple Store or the Google Play Store, or you can just scan the QR code on your screens. Welcome back to Your Stocks on CNBC TV18. We still have with us Astha Jain as well as Somil Mehta to solve all your stock-related doubts. Let's move on, and the next query is coming in from Rahul Maurya, who's writing to us from Mumbai. Holding 4,220 shares of Bharat Electronics is at a price of 316 rupees. And also he's holding 6,700 shares of Union Bank. This is at a price of 134 rupees per share. So for Union Bank, it's around the buying price as well. For BEL, it's slightly above right now, the buying price. Wants to know the future prospect of both these stocks. Astha, on the fundamentals, BEL and Union Bank, what should they be doing? BEL obviously has the defense story also, and right now we've seen that run-up coming in since the last week for these defense names. But long-term story for both these, how does it look?
Long-term story for BEL is looking very strong, and we are recommending a hold on it, as well as buy on dip strategy can be applied whenever some dips arrive at around the level of 335 to 330, with a price target of 370 to 380 at the initial levels. Talking about this counter, they have got a leadership position. In fact, with the increase in the share of electronics in the defense, and in fact, they have received the order of around 2,210 crores from the Air Force for the electronic warfare suit. So I think looking after all these factors with a strong order backlog this company is enjoying, I think it is well set to show more upside from here, and a 400 levels can also be hit in the medium term. So a hold is recommended on this counter. Talking about Union Bank of India, this is also looking good. We are very much impressed by the results, as well as the bank has shown a CAGR growth of more than 8% in their AUM, which looks to be very impressive. So this bank is also looking good to us, recommending a hold on this with a price target of 150 at the initial level. So both these counters are looking good. Buy on dips as well as hold strategy is recommended for both this count.
Okay. Whole strategy for both these counters is what you're saying. Somil, on the technicals, BEL as well as Union Bank, does it merit holding both these names? And or do you think that there is a better option in both these sectors, whether you look at the defense or the PSU bank side?
I think BEL is definitely one of my favorite counters on the defense side. You can also try HAL. HAL looks great at this point of time and has very good potential on the upside. BEL has already broken out of it, is consolidation from last 6 months, and that targets at least 400, 420 level. But you can also look at HAL. HAL also looks great, and the risk reward ratio at HAL is better than BEL. Coming to Union Bank, I think has broken out of an inverted head and shoulder pattern, and I think it is looking great for a medium-term outlook. Medium-term outlook targets for Union Bank would be 140, 150 levels from here, from these levels, and the stop loss would be around 128, 125 levels, and for a medium-term outlook for an investor. So Union Bank definitely good, but you can also look at Canara Bank. Canara Bank looks great as well for a medium-term outlook. It has also broken out of an inverted head and shoulder pattern, and the target for Canara Bank would be 110, 115 in the medium term.
Okay, Somil, thank you so much for that. Surely can look at Union Bank. He's given the, targets where you can look for Union Bank, but Canara Bank is also something that is looking interesting on that front. But let's move on to the next query. We have Vikram Singh writing to us from Noida. He's holding 250 shares of Transformer and Rectifiers at a price of 510 rupees per share, currently trading at the similar levels. Wants to know if they should continue to hold this for the long term or switch to another stock. Astha, your view.
I think this is a stock to keep in the holding for a longer term with the price target of 590 to 600 at the initial level. Talking about this counter, definitely the results were exceptionally well. In the Q4, they have shown a whopping rise in their bottom line. So we were very much impressed by the numbers. The only thing is that the valuations were on the higher side, and that's why we have seen some sort of correction after the result announcement. But in the longer term, I think the stock is well placed to show more upside from here. 590 is the initial target which we would like to assign to this counter and recommending a hold for that.
Okay, and your view on the technicals for transformers and rectifiers, Somil?
Medium-term outlook positive. In the very short term, maybe consolidation, a small correction, but not below 440, which is a 200 daily exponential moving average. A long-term good trend on the upside, and in the medium-term outlook, I think the higher end would be around 600 levels, and that would be my my target in the medium term.
Okay, keep an eye out on those levels over there for transformer and rectifiers. Next query for today coming in from Avinash Bhargava, who's writing to us from Hyderabad. 35 shares of JSPL is what he's holding at a price of 693 rupees per share, making a profit on this one. Wants to know, and he's saying that can he hold this for 3 years more from here on? So what is the outlook for JSPL from here? Astha?
Outlook is positive, but not very much, highly positive or highly optimistic. But yes, we are restricting our price target to 1,000, 2,050 odd levels. Talking about the numbers, we have seen the rise in the EBITDA, but that was led by due to the lower coking coal price, etc. So there was a lower cost, and hence we have seen some sort of improvement in their EBITDA. But we really need to see how the company will be performing going ahead. So right now, we are positive on this counter, but it is like cautiously optimistic with the price target of 1,010 to 1,050, and a hold is recommended from our side for this counter.
Okay, and Somil, your view coming in for JSPL?
JSPL, one of my favorite counters on the metal side, and has broken out today, and a consolidation from last 6 months has been broken on the upside, which is great. A high bottom formation on the weekly charts. I'll be aiming for a new high from here. So keep a stop loss of very strict stop loss of 868, and aiming for a new high, lifetime high, which is around 1100 levels.
Okay, JSPL, surely Somil's favorite stock, and he likes this one in the metal pack. So thank you so much for that. Somil as well as Astha, thank you so much for joining in with us and helping our viewers solve their stock-related queries. And viewers, we'll wind down this edition of Your Stocks on CNBC TV18. Thank you so much for tuning in. And remember, you can always email us your queries and we'll address them with our experts as always. So stay tuned in. Up next now, you have Closing Bell to take you through all the market action.